Well, that what you're looking at there on the screen is a picture of Mr. Andrew Jackson. And if you'll notice about every picture that who I call Yellowhead, that he does in the Oval Office or really just in many places, you'll notice a picture of Andrew Jackson. And I've always felt after listening to him a while that he could be the one. He could be the one. I'm not into politics too terribly much, although isn't it damned interesting today on November the 5th? And it has everything to do with this right here. Where's my little deal? This right here, read over this. And see what old Andrew did. And what Woodrow brought back in 1913. And oh, by the way, my name is Ramblin' Randy down here in the deep piney woods of East Texas watching the southern perimeter. I'm going to be talking kind of funny and things of that sort. It doesn't make any difference what I'm saying or how you take my accent. It doesn't really make any difference at all. None of that. What we have to do is we have to all get on the same page, because the spirit that Andrew Jackson, by the way, they called him Hickory Stick, because he actually documented, I guess we can call it fact, unless they Mandela'd the thing out of the history books. Hell, they hadn't got, well, we're going to talk. We got a lot to talk about. But he took a hickory stick and he went down the hall to where these bankers right here are at, and he told them that phrase right there that you can read and a lot more, which is very interesting stuff, and I can feel the spirit of him. And he said, by the name of God, I rout you out, and he started swinging that damn hickory stick, and word has it that he maimed quite a few of them there, and they didn't get that charter, or he refused to recharter the second bank. And we floated along there without the usury and the ether being put over the American citizen. And, you hear people say we're slaves and everything. That's true, but I think the word saying we're slaves is not doing the correcting of what we're trying to do here any justice, because that word is true, but that's total visual and everything of being captive. And now we got free movement to a degree. But when this whole thing started back there, it is a long journey. They're playing the long haul like Genghis Khan. And the Chinese and the civilizations back into antiquity, hell, they'd go on for 150 years. Typically an empire, which we're in an empire, like the British Empire and various things like that, they usually collapse around 200 to 250. We're bumping it right now. And by the way, paper fiat currency or anything fiat or anything that is a script, if you will, other than the source of what you're pegging your ruble, whatever to, shiny pebbles, unless it's pegged to a commodity that the world recognizes and will freely exchange, you holding some of that stuff with what you want to get from them, unless it's a recognizable thing like gold, silver, something like that, they come up with this dollar deal. And oh my God, I know it sounds strange, but what a story that we can go into. And there's people out there right now that can teach us all things, And I'm going to tell you something. I'm here for a reason. And for the last 5 to 7 years or so, 10, really. I've been working on how to do my part to eradicate or to help Yellowhead flip this thing back to our country being sovereign. What do I mean by that? I mean that right now we're in constant debt to a third party, being those that they won't even tell us who they are, that run the Federal Reserve Bank. Now, I'm going to be touching into areas that, by God, we all know there's bullets and fur flying over on YouTube and Twitter and all those things about getting censored for the shit that's going on right now with this election. But what I'm going to be talking about is in a term that would trump that theme. I'm talking about how to dismantle the snake from the head from a snake until you can render the source of replenishing of the ability to transfer energy, which everyone calls money. But after we talk a while, you'll see that really what we're doing is we're transferring energy, because it took you energy to grab that shovel and dig that ditch all day long to come home and then to accept from your employer, who also accepts it from the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. But you accept this thing from them that represents supposedly the amount of energy that you put into digging that ditch, that someone else said, I'll give you a portion of my energy at the rate of $10 an hour of my energy that I've stored. I'll give it to you. And really that's money. But the reason I call it energy, no matter if you're a ditch digger or a brain surgeon, doesn't make a shit. The core element that's needed would be thought. You got to be able to think. And that thinking requires a source of fuel or energy that comes from the ambient. It's gonna get serious around here now. Just drag yourself up a 5-gallon bucket. We've got a lot to talk about. That's no joke. We really do. But back to the 10 years that I have been in quest of this, what has to happen in order for us to win. And yes, right now, the party that Yellowhead is spearheading, we got to have Yellowhead in there. It's going to be, it would make things so much easier. And probably I would have a shot of experiencing the rewards of our efforts. By that, I mean before I croak. If Yellowhead doesn't get in, there's going to have to be some serious people involved with this battle that we're in to be able to carry on. It's going to take some dedicated people. Listen, I've been studying this stuff for 20 years. And then I've been talking about this stuff for 20 damn years or more. And everybody thought I was crazy. Long time ago, and I don't have any Harvard graduate degree in economics or anything, the whatever that is, Horton School of Business. I don't even know the names of them. But I recognized real quick many years ago when I had a little oil and gas drilling company that what's this interest shit all about? Who's getting this interest on this money? And then I started looking at this Federal Reserve and I started going, what the hell is this all about? Who are these people? And they won't even tell you. Hell, it could be no telling who's behind the curtain up there. And so they're playing both sides of the fence because war is their deal, or it has been a real serious cash cow. Think about it. You sell tanks over here. It's all goes through this Benghazi type setup. That's what happened is the damn gun deal went sour on them over there. And Scott did roll on them, I guess. And the ambassador over there, and they fixed that, didn't they? But that's going to come back to roost. It just takes dedicated people who've got eyes and ears, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I want to form an army to be able to be a formidable foe to our adversaries. We can do this. These are strange and extraordinary times that we're going through. And it's going to require extraordinary means to combat it or to overcome it. Because shit, nobody wants to go to do combat. You don't want to have to do it twice, 3 or 4 times. But they love for that to happen. They drag it out. Raytheon loves it. The Martin Marietta Boeing, Liam Timko Vault. You know, Martin Marietta. I've been looking at this stuff, folks. Long story about the very hometown, the city that I'm sitting in right now. The universe has brought me right back to this very city where the whole damn thing started. You can do a little research and find out what's the name of the town in America that is the oil capital of America that still has the world's most richest acre in that little town of 9,000 people. Do some research. You'll find out where I'm sitting right now. And I'm about 2 miles, hell, not that much, about a mile from that very acre that's declared the world's richest acre. A good friend of mine's great-granddaddy drilled the damn well. That same good friend of mine's grandfather or great-grandfather was Ross Sterling from Orange County, Texas, from the Stark family. And Ross Sterling married one of his great-grandmothers, something like that. He started Standard Oil, which ended up being Exxon. Jesus Christ. Very strange town that I come from. Very strange town. We wasn't on the cash cow receiving end of that here in my little family, but I ended up owning a little oil and gas drilling company. But, you know, around here, that's dime a dozen. But anyway, I've got a very unique background. And so back to this, and the reason, that went dark on y'all, didn't it? Well, hopefully you still listen to it. Let me see if I can get that. There you go. There's Andrew. Get that thing on. Keep that thing on there. It doesn't really matter if there's a picture on there or not. As a matter of fact, when that thing goes dark, I won't even bump it anymore now that you've been briefed and you can just listen. What a segue. And that's what will happen as you come closer to becoming a manifestic if you allow me to train you to be one. That's a being that creates their reality from sheer thought. But what just happened was what I call an Essene mirror by Greg Braden. Read up on the Essene mirrors. Is that I was talking along there, and it segued me, what I was talking about segued me into another tributary on this thing that we'll be discussing. And that is that very, very thought that there isn't any question in my mind that we're creating this chaos from our thoughts. It could be no other way. And we'll be discussing that. But back to the exchangeable medium topic that I was running down. And by the way, can you understand now why they call me Ramblin' Randy? But at the end of the day, I've determined that, you know, does it actually require someone standing up on stage with the veins sticking out of their neck like I used to do? Knowing in the depths of my heart, now that I can, in retrospect, and I knew it then too, that the people that I was talking to in that unbelievably charismatic and linguistically an art form to move the minds of those people that I was talking to, the target market. Does it require that? Or could you grasp the damn truth if I just sit here and talk to you about it? Do I have to draw circles on a damn board and point little arrows down here and go get two that 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 get two, and before you know it, you'll be there, but all you got to have is 14,582,000 people to do it. Does it require that? And I have owned and operated those damn things. They're a slot machine to me, the owner side of it. You rig them to the amount you want it to pay you. And look at these things the way they're structured. And I'll tell you this, here I am throwing rocks at them, but that's the very tool that's being used against you and I right now. That's the very tool that they are reaping the kind of thievery. Henry Ford said one time, if the citizens knew how our Federal Reserve banking system worked, we would have mutiny and revolution by morning. It's theft. John McFadden, the senator years ago, brought it up, but this is thievery. You can go and do your own research is what you need to start doing. When I start talking about this shit, you need to do your own research so that you can honestly, with truth and honesty, stand up in front of someone because it's in your damn heart. You put forth what? You put forth some work of thinking and researching and coming up with your own take on something I may say. And then when someone else hears you say that, and they pick up your energy, that you're passionate about it, you did the work and research yourself, but you're open-minded, that you could change your perspective if what you gain from someone else is of value and you take that and put it on your canvas. You'll hear me talk about the canvas a lot. Nobody can put paint on anyone else's canvas, period. Period. The divine, if you will, the source of all sources, made each and every one of us, I'm firmly convinced of this, because I live by this, creating from sheer thought. I didn't realize it. You're doing it now. It could be no other way. It could be no other way. You have to create the next step that you take if you're walking. You have to. You have to in some way. The ability for us to compute and to call upon the ambient, the firmament is called in the Bible, to create right in front of you, like on the Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he was saying, just go across the damn bridge. There wasn't no bridge there. He said, yes, there is. There's a bridge there. Go. He realized that they wasn't on the same wavelength with him. He took some dust and he threw it out there, and the dust stuck to the invisible bridge that they couldn't see, and they walked across it. But he could see it. We're all going through this now, people. We're all going through this. John B. Wells. And you'll hear me talk about what I call my influencers. I want to know who your damn influencers are. They got value. I want to compensate them. I want to give them a token of my appreciation. Remember that. You remember that. Back to this Federal Reserve. I want to invite you to watch a few movies I think that would move you. And one of them, it's about a 7-part series, but the meat of it's right there in the middle. It's Mike Maloney, years ago, 2000 or something, or maybe not quite that far back. But Mike Maloney made a series on how our damn money system works. It is a Ponzi. It's a pyramid. Just like Mary Kay, Amway, Shackley, Herbalife, and the likes thereof. And Skybiz, the one that I involved with. Oh, God, was that a cash cow? Woo! 1.8 million members in as many months, 18 months, that all paid $100. Do the math. We was paying out about 80%, keeping 20. Thereabouts, we might have been keeping 25%, but do the math on that. 25% of 1.8 million people paying $100. And we got 25% of that with no risk. So I'm privy to how that dynamic works. And so inside of our system that we live in, Mike Maloney is going to show you how our Federal Reserve System works. And that, because when you go in and you buy something, well, when you go, if someone borrows money at the bank or makes a deposit in the bank, let's say $100, in this little clip that you'll see, they keep about 10% out, in particular it's called drawer cash. And then the other real value is scurried off, but they fractionalize it and create out of your $100, they're going to create out of thin air 10 times the amount. 10 times the amount of what's now turned to digits in their system. It didn't ever exist before you made that deposit. Shame on you. Literally shame on you. All of us. And then they create money out of thin air. And then when you borrow money from that bank and you go out and spend it, they're throwing that into the money supply, which means more of that. And it's a commodity that everybody's using, this money supply. So every time we buy something, it's going into this money supply thing. And if you're sitting out on the road selling oranges and you've got about 4 or 5 cases of them, or crates they call them, and you're the only one for miles around selling damn oranges, they're going to get a lot of people come by there and they're going to give you a pretty penny for them oranges. And then all of a sudden this prick pulls up next to you in a 18-wheeler, and it's got full of oranges. He's selling for a damn penny a piece. Penny a piece, and you're selling for $1 a piece. Who you think they're going to buy the damn oranges from? There's more supply. So the value of what you were holding went down. Same thing happens with the dollar. The more that goes in there, the buying power drops. It's going to take more dollars getting paid a certain fixed rate of energy money. It's going to require more than you. If they're paying you $100 a week, and then it was costing you, and you're just buying a bunch of oranges, I'm rambling, boy, trying to paint you a picture, then you're going to have to work twice as much by the same amount of oranges to stay on board. That's what's happening. So we're going to go into that. I wasted way too much time on that, way too much time. But when you look right here at this, the money deal. Now let's look at what's happening right now out there. How could they do any of this stuff without what we're calling money? How could they fund the shenanigans that's going on without this money? Guess who's paying for them to do this to us? We are. Because they're taking that skim off the top and all those fake digits, and they can create as many damn digits as they choose to. this is, we've got ourselves in a real trick bag, people. A real trick bag. I'm going to be coming in and out of this thing. And next time you pop over, Andrew might not be there. And I'm going to take me a little break. I might cut that part out about, I was rambling about them damn oranges. But before I go to a little break, take a break, let me tell you something. It's 24 minutes into this. It doesn't make anything, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm going to try my very best to steer you into a direction where you take action, you learn something. There's going to be value in that for you. Because I'm going to tell you this, if you'll watch these videos that I'm going to tell you to watch and just listen to me and tell everybody that you know to do the same thing. I'm going to make a statement right now. If you'll do that and just take a couple simple suggestions, all those years of me trying to figure out how do I tell someone how we can game the system and get very well financially sound. But in order to do that, you have to help me save this country. You have to be a passionate patriot that understands and will understand more when Chrissy Ann Hall teaches us all more about the Constitution. She's a constitutional attorney. That you understand the Constitution and what it stands for, and it's the foundation of this beautiful experiment called the United States of America. You understand that we have a Bill of Rights, and we will be going over that. And you believe in the rule of law applied equally to all. I'm going to ask you to write 3 or 4 paragraphs and encompass your feelings about the United States and how passionate you are as a patriot, that you're a constitutionalist. And you see that our country is growing awry. For those people who do that, I will guarantee you, based on how passionate you claim to be, and you will become a friend of Paul Revere and spread your story of passion and how much you love this country to other people. I will tell you with no hesitation whatsoever, you can reach whatever plateau of accumulated wealth that you so choose to inside of this community, we'll call it, inside of this army, because we're all an army of eyes and ears. You see something, you create something, you do some research, you take a picture of a baby smiling that makes us smile, that has value. And I can show you how you can harvest that wealth I discussed simply by sharing your story with us or your research. I'm going to take a little old break, even though you'll never know it, because it's just I'll just come back and say hello. But the bottom line is this: it doesn't make any difference what I'm saying. I know exactly what I'm doing. We're cutting through all the presidential and the silver bronze stars, and if you get this, you get a car, and if you do this and jump through this hoop, and we're coming out with a new product, and if you'll buy this and get it, all that horse shit, we're cutting straight through it, and guess what? I'm taking nothing. The top takes nothing. I'm giving you this. We're going to build an ecosystem that we circulate energy. Remember what I said energy is? We're going to circulate energy from our army members, our fellow soldiers in this metaphorical world virtual army of eyes and ears, but we'll be tangible here too. We need to press flesh. We need to press flesh so much. They're trying to, that is tactical. Tactical pressing flesh. That is by design. And someone who just caught what I just did when I went from this, as a tactical, I was meaning by a military tactic, but tactical is also touching. And I said, we need to press flesh. You're going to have a fun time, traveling with me. I love this. We can smile and we can receive from other people that recognize our value and sustain ourselves on this thing. And prosper beyond comprehension if you're willing to share your passion of how much you love this country. Jesus, I'm going to take me a little break and I'll be right back. I'm watching some of Black Conservative Patriots stuff. He does great work. You need to look at him on YouTube. While he's still there, they're picking our people off like crazy. I'll be back. I'm back, but I was only gone for a couple minutes. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to render this, and it's 25 minutes. Well, hell, it's 32 minutes long, and so it won't be real long. And we're going to start this is the Patriots Pathway to Prosperity or Happiness, whatever we want to call it. And you'll see that on YouTube. And this will be lesson number 1. Patriots Pathway, lesson number 1. How's that? Ramblin' Randy, we down.